This is a weekly show where we talk about each and everything we can with going on film in the film world in Chicago. Today I have on JD Collins. JD, how you doing, man?
Man, it's amazing to be here, and I'm grateful. Thanks for inviting me, Tyler.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on New Year's Day. I didn't do it on Christmas, and I had Harold Dennis on the week before, and I told everybody I wasn't going to be here for Christmas, and New Year's Day I definitely wanted to go ahead and do the show. I thought it'd be a great start to the new year, and hey, here we are. So thank you so much for coming by. It's a pleasure, man. So let's get into it because now I'm going to talk about, your film, your short film that I saw. But let's go ahead and talk more about you. So,
Okay.
how did you start off? Where did, your passion for film start? Just talk about the beginnings.
Man, well, I don't want to age myself. Man. To young guys like you, man, I'm just washed up sugar daddy age. Man.
Oh, no, don't say that.
No, it's cool though. I mean, you got to take pride in that, man. But no, I would say 20 years ago, I started at Columbia College, Chicago.
All right, yeah.
When picking a career, I kind of found my life's purpose, but could have been an EMT when my father he is a retired firefighter, could have went that route. But I was into music, and I started to develop my voice and opinion, and I was into Kanye. The college dropout album made me go to college.
Okay.
That's the irony. The college dropout album made me go to college, and I was thinking about Full Sail in Florida, but my mother told me Columbia College, Chicago. She co-signed for that expensive loan. So the Parent Plus. But thought it was more biology, medicine, but I was into philosophy, psychology. I began to inquire about the world around me. Writing my journal, I began to think about humanities. The human soul, not the human body so much. Columbia College, Chicago opened up my eyes to a new way of living. One of the few only black people in the class all the time. I know you experienced that, right?
Definitely. I experienced that from elementary, middle school, high school, but
okay.
But yeah. I've definitely had my share of stories when it comes to
and it opened my eyes to just diversity because I was around more. I wouldn't say necessarily hood. I guess like neighborhood guys that never really got out their comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I did. I did 2 years at Columbia. I smashed it within my couple years there, and I met one of the most important people. It's all about relationships, right? And connecting with people.
Yeah.
I got a partner named Joseph Rubino, or Joe Rubino. Our thesis projects, the wages of sin, and Lost Ones, 10 years ago, we got a lot of popularity. Joe Rubino, actually, he's a camera operator. He was a camera artist for the second highest selling video game ever, Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, wow.
And my short is on YouTube now, did a while ago, but my short that he directed and I wrote, helped him get that job. It was an edgy Chicago kind of crime drama. And I met so many people throughout Chicago that went off to do some great things. But Columbia College is where I got my foundation in drama and love for cinema. When I say cinema, the history of cinema. All the way before D.W. Griffin made the most racist film ever made. What was it, Birth of a Nation? I seen Corner in the Wheat. Birth of a Nation was made from book The Klansman, of course. So obviously it was going to be racist, but
Woodrow Wilson, one of the presidents of the United States, his favorite film.
He said it was like writing history with thunder. That's the power of film. He played in the White House. I can't blame him. Well, Spike Lee, his thesis film in New York, he made not thesis, first film, made an anti-thesis, an antithesis to Birth of a Nation about, but no, the history of cinema, let's get back to the history of cinema. They had a screenwriting library, the library of screenwriting books, The Godfather and A Taxi Driver was one of my first films. That Taxi Driver and Raging Bull Kids, those are films that made me really. They were my tone and my style. It's about finding your tone and your style. That's where I get my tone and my style from. Kubrick too. So just talking about Columbia College and upbringing, that getting that foundation. A lot of people talk about, oh, I don't want to go to film school stuff. That foundation in drama, the history of cinema, having to experiment with the equipment was an amazing opportunity. So.
Talk to me. So, you going to Columbia, and I went to Columbia as well. And, like you said, your relationships mean everything, especially because people would always say, and not to, shoot down Columbia or anything, you get you're able to get your education, cool. If you can't, what I'm saying, that's cool too. We were just kind of talking over here about, really more about your skill set rather than, what you went to school for and things like that. Because you could have been, like you said, you could have gone and become a fighter, but yeah, there could have still been that passion for film, So who knows what you could have been doing if you went to, you didn't go to Columbia or whatever. But I think that when it comes to going to art school, there are just so many new things that, you work on so many stuff, there's so many things that you were never introduced to before. Talk to me more about making some of those short films that, when you were in college and things like that.
I'm getting that passion back now because I took a long break away from film, and I shouldn't have. But I got, like, Eva DuVernay talks about how, she didn't touch a camera until like 35. But you have come in with a lot of life experience. But as far as my early work, man, experimentation. You get a camera in your hand. And for me, it was always started off watching the greats, watching the people that I admire. Scorsese, Kubrick, Darren Aronofsky, Cassavetes. And I think Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman is his father. Jason Reitman talked about, in film school you discover you're trying to make your Spielberg film or your Nolan film, but you start to find your style. And mine was just, I delved into urban grit, people on the fringes of society. I developed a solid pen game. I'm glad at my age, I'm an older millennial. So I was there when you actually had to go to the library and write research papers and read plays and really read and write. And now I want to integrate, the young guys are killing it. There are no rules now. I'm trying to integrate the old school because I used to shoot with the Bolex. I seen that on your IG profile, the Bolex camera.
Yeah.
Now I shot Waves of Sin on that. You're running out of film. You got to process it. It was amazing. But I'm coming out of retirement actually, man. I'm coming out of a hiatus, so I'm coming back with fresh eyes.
Well, we were glad you're back, man. And even just like me being the first time we met, this is it's just really good to have this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned the Bolex because the first student film I ever did was on a Bolex. This is back when Columbia was back in 2012, so don't want to age myself, but I was about 18 years old, and some friends wanted me to go ahead and go to Michigan. To go ahead and shoot a short film. Like, we stayed at this guy's house. Mind you, I knew my friend, but the other people that, that were on the film set, we didn't know this other person. There's a lot of that, where, I traveled to Michigan and traveled to the suburbs, way out suburbs of Chicago. And, I got to just meet so many different people going to different schools and stuff like that, majoring in film, doing their master's thesis or senior thesis or whatever it may be. But going back to the Bolex, is that was my first short film was on that. Now, if I could find that DVD somewhere, if I could find it, I've moved so many times in Chicago. I've lost so much stuff, and I should have gave a lot of stuff to my mom. She would have kept up with it.
I think I have like one or two students. I have one that is on an old hard drive that I got to pull out. But yeah, man, that might be a classic one day, man. It might be, some, what's that great pop artist, Andy Warhol, right?
Okay.
Yeah, man. They're digging up his old little film stuff that can be sold for like $100K. So you never know.
Did you get to see the Andy Warhol exhibit back at the Museum of Contemporary Art?
I mean, he's everywhere, but there was one I seen in Aesthetics of Cinema where he just did a 30-minute video of a film of a guy masturbating on the toilet. indie world. But I know how to flip that into some art. You know, you pay $3,000, $4,000 a class, but you watch these weird films and it gives you more choices, artistic choices in your own film. So yeah, I went back and watched the Masters short films like Chris Nolan's Doodlebug, uh, um, Ridley Scott's Boy on a Bicycle with his late brother Tony Scott. THX 1138 is still, I think, the greatest student short film ever made.
Say that again when you said
THX 1138 by George Lucas is the apex of student films.
Okay.
I have a homie that went to USC, and when there was new students, they put them in the THX theater, and that's the first thing they watched. It's George Lucas short film. This is way before the Star Wars stuff. This was when he was doing experimental documentaries. But yeah, man, the Star short film I still watch. But as a student filmmaker, you watch those stuff, man. Like, what's some of the films you watched as a student that inspired you?
Oh man, what can I say? Some of the films that inspired me when I was going to school, I was trying to. There was a lot of films that I had never seen before. So, trying to get more into Spike Lee's work, trying to get more into Quentin Tarantino's work. A lot of things, and those were the names that I knew that were, always going around. So in terms of Stanley Kubrick, I knew The Shining, but I didn't know 2001: Space Odyssey. I didn't know, a lot of other films like Barry Lyndon and, what I'm saying, all that stuff. So, I think later on, after I got out of school, because I took a little bit of a break from acting and, just learned about the world, in your 20s and, had to do the whole, find a job, working downtown and, trying not to lose your mind.
Talk about when it comes to losing your mind, man, that's something that's my circle of competence right there. A little bit of a creative insanity. An admission advisor from NYU came to Columbia while I was there, and he said that an artist doesn't even get into their peak into their mid-30s because you have to learn a lot about life. Now, I use that as a way to procrastinate for myself in a lot of dangerous positions, because, I really, like, James Dean, I'm one of those, like, really pretentious artists that want to put their hand in the fire so they got something to write about, which is outrageous sometimes. David Lynch said that you don't need pain to create. It should be fun, But, yeah, man.
You don't need pain to create.
It should be fun. But some great art, and great comedy too. I take classes at Second City. I'm a humorist, a writer, so. But great art comes from pain. But you don't have to just sit around depressed all day and, this depressed artist mode, man. I overdid it.
I hear that, man. Yeah, I think that we all have our journey. And, where that goes, it's never linear and everybody's isn't the same. So, so like I said, going to school. You go to school or, you don't, cool. You have different passions. You have different talents, so. And you're a multi-talented guy, I can already tell, so.
It's time now, man. It's about the work and loving the work and diving in it. And also, as artists, we can put time restraints on ourselves and we have to hit a certain benchmark by 30, 25, like, enjoy the actual work and put a deadline on it. Like, there's no such thing as a completed piece of art. The artist just gives up on it. That's one thing that I miss now. Actually, I'm embracing the film program I'm in now. Deadlines. It's not. There's no such thing as a complete piece of art. Just get it out there and get it done.
So let's go ahead and talk about Monologues from the Streets, Red Line Stories.
Red Line Prophecies.
The Red Line Prophecies, forgive me for that. Let's talk, okay, so where did the idea to go ahead and make this short film come from? Because you had it, you have Harold Dennis in it, who is somebody who's been around for a long time doing his thing in the city of Chicago when it comes to acting. Yet again, Harold, thank you so much for coming on the show on the 18th. It really meant a lot because I see Harold around all the time. I see him at Black Harvest. Almost every film function there is going on in the city, he is there.
That's why I cast him. He's reliable and he shows up and he gets the job done.
Yeah. I was amazed to find out he was 60. And we talked about that on the air. I was like, what? Like, man keeps up with himself.
He does. He looks, I was... playing in the shadows, man. He looks younger than me, man.
But let's go ahead and get into it. So, like, talk about the idea behind this and where it all came from.
Well, this is something that I've always wanted to do. Monologues from the Streets is about taking, like you're an actor, right? Taking your monologue, but breathing it to life. Taking typical monologues and turning them into mini short films. Mm-hmm. Shorts. Like, it's, you shouldn't wait to an audition to perform. You know what I'm saying? Every actor needs a piece out there online, a living monologue that shows them create a character, act their type of character. So it was originally something that I was going to do myself. I call Hero, but it is the episode 0 of a series. But Red Line Prophecies, I mean, it's about the streets of Chicago. It's about the streets of Chicago, and also there's always a socio-political themes that I'm going to have in my next body of work. It's just about the streets. Yep. It is about things that I've seen, took note in, and lived a little bit. So it's just a character piece for now, but I'm going to expand it into something a little bit longer.
Okay, cool. I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that. Watching this, like I said, didn't know you, from Can of Paint, but saw Harold promote this online. And also, this was also shown at the Chicago Short Film Festival this year at Facets. But with this story that you have, for me, I see it as a story of marginalization when it comes to folks who are dealing with, mental health. Yeah. Especially, because at the beginning, spoiler alert, at the beginning, the character says, "I'm sorry, y'all, I didn't take my medication." And we really don't know exactly what type. I mean, we don't know what type of medication he's taking. We don't even know if he's really. I mean, you just have to, for an audience member, you have to kind of figure it out yourself. Like, okay, what's this person really going through? Like, where did they get to this point? Have they always dealt with this? Is this something that's it's new? I think that when it comes to folks who you see on the red line, blue line, pink line, whatever. And, you see them either yelling at themselves or yelling, what I'm saying, like going through an episode.
Burning white women.
That's crazy.
Stabbing white women in the neck.
That's insane. Those stories are insane, man. The one with lady got put on fire on the blue line. Like, what? You just came on the train. You had a gas can. And
well, it happened in New York as well. And Chicago is just a cleaner version of New York. They call Chicago a Midwest version of New York, but it happened in New York as well. And the reason why it happens is because, America, we are the number one power in the world. Period. Our military is $1 trillion military. So Donald Trump ain't playing with nobody. I kind of like that about him. But, I'm not going to get on that. But, but in as far as happiness and quality of life for all citizens, we're like 8th or 9th. And I'm talking bottom up, not the top 10% or 25%. And those cases is a reminder that, in the film, Hero says that a South African leader once said, when the poor have nothing else to eat, we eat the rich. You're either going to take care of your people or you're going to have Caucasian women getting stabbed in the neck by guys that should have been in psych wards. Their mother even put them out the house, but you're not providing housing, psych wards, drug rehabs, all of that. Is you ever seen the movie Elysium by Elysium is by Neil Blomkamp. He's it wouldn't be disrespectful to call him a new version of George Lucas, but he has that. He's a raw and edgy version of Lucas, meaning he uses visual effects and big stories for a social-political point. Elysium in that movie, the top 10% are the elitists or the upper class. They built their own space station, Utopia. It was with Matt Damon.
I have seen that movie. That's a good movie.
He leaves the rest of us lower class people, to die off. But I'm telling America, this is not Elysium. Like, y'all don't have a space station. Like, if we don't take care of our poor, sick, suffering, these kids, then, you're going to have things like people getting set on fire. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't build enough jails because jails is a replacement for mental health institutes and psych wards, but you can't build them fast enough. So,
what do you? I mean, when you coming up with this film and you making this film and casting the person that you cast with it. I mean, when we're talking about all this stuff, what what do you think are some what are going to be some things that are going to help us see the things that we need to see when it comes to providing for those who, like you said, who need it. You know what I'm saying?
well, I mean, it's a monologue, it's a rant, it's a speech. It is real. Um, uh, it's just somebody from the shadows, from a subculture that wants to be heard. And I hate even talk about subcultures and classism. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, these trust fund babies who can go to Hazleton, Betty Ford, when they go, Nick Reiner, right? They have this blanket where they can sit in plushy psych wards and drug rehabs for the rest of their life. But what about the rest of us? Like, it's not like that in Canada, Denmark, Sweden. People take care of people. You know what I'm saying? Australia, even I met a guy from Australia. We went out to pizza. He said that even when you're just dead broke, you can just get a job helping other people. I mean, it's just a little. This is just me stretching out my muscles with that little piece.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let that live on the internet. It's a visual essay for me. I don't want to give it away, but take from it what you want to take from it.
What was the writing process like? So how did you?
I mean, I had to delete my. I'm someone that with my manic writing brain, I had to delete socials because I write too much on there. I'm giving away free books. You ever seen somebody that be writing essays and shit and going like you're giving away too much? Put it in the work. So, I mean, I experienced that, the alienation. You know what I'm saying? That depression, that substance abuse, the self-medicate. Um, Again, I learned from Columbia because, the first, upper middle class party we tried to go to in a Taylor Loss or whatever back then, I was with my black friends. They won't let us in. They told us, three good black guys said we didn't want any trouble. Wasn't in that trust fund party, but I got into another one where, and I actually worked in accounting, like this job, take a job, I process them, but, trust fund babies is someone who just gets a check for being born. They have a safety net. Mm-hmm. Sometimes. Mm-hmm. And even when they're in the hood doing crack with us, I've seen this in a treatment program. If 25 young Jewish girl, she got a train ran on in the hood, but she can go to a treatment center in Minnesota and rub horses and do poetry. But if you're a black guy, you do not, you don't have this safety net. Mm-hmm. In America, unless you come from that type of family.
Yep.
So it's about the lost and forgotten. And that's one of the themes that I'm about to delve into with my next body of work.
How did you meet Harold?
I met Harold. He's been in the Chicago game for a long time.
Very long time.
But here's the thing, he's reliable and stable, and he's a teacher. And I was going to have him. This is a piece that I thought about doing myself. But no, I think that I seen Harold in Marquise short film, the war one.
Oh, yeah.
Broke Down Drone. Mm-hmm. Actually, that made me cast Harold. And shout out to Marquise, man. Those are film school legends. You know what I'm saying? So, that made me cast Harold. I knew you can do it. And he showed up ready. He's professional, man.
Yeah, he did a great job in Broke Down Drone. With Marquise Simmons, I met Marquise, so there was a point when I wanted to get more into artist management.
Yeah.
So I had some R&B singers who I was managing and whatnot, and one of them, they wanted to make a music video, and they already had plans. They got the director, who was Marquise at the time, and I didn't know Marquise, but he did another music video for that same artist. He came to my studio apartment when I lived on Sheridan in Uptown. It was back in 2015.
Nice.
When I say all he had was his camera and a couple light fixtures, that's it. He didn't have a crew. It was just him. And you know, like when you meet somebody, you know, he was on his stuff, and just when you met him, you just knew, okay, like this dude, he's gonna be going places. He really is. But I just didn't like fast forward to 2023 when we reconnected. There were a couple other times I'd seen him around the city, but when we reconnected, you know, at Black Harvest Film Festival in 2023, and that's when I first met Harold Dennis as well. It was like, man, you know, everything is coming full circle for me right now. So I started doing film programming at Music Box, and then, you know, trying to look for short films, knowing other artists, other directors, and, you know, just going to Black Harvest and whatnot, and seeing Marquise there, and just reconnected, and, you know, kind of talking about some of the old people that we knew, some of the people we already know. Max Thomas is another person who was in that film. Max Thomas has been a friend of mine for some years now. I know you're doing stuff at Second City, so I don't know. Do you know? Are you familiar with Max?
No, it's been a while since I take it. I'm connecting back there, but I you know, we meet. Chicago's an amazing place to create, man. You know, and I owe the city an apology because I, you know, took myself out of it to refine I had to rediscover myself and my passion for this, and you know, with this art stuff, you know, a lot of people is some people can be self-serving and selfish, and this is about providing opportunities for others, for actors, cinematographers, lighting people, artists, and you got to do it for more than yourself. So that's my new just promise to Chicago, man, to just do more for my city as a creator.
And take care of yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there are a lot of artists who do get caught up. A lot of people get caught up in, you know what I'm saying, having to do this, having to do that, you know, trying to get back to the city. But then again, there are times you got to relax, you know what I'm saying, step back, you know what I'm saying, maybe sit back at the crib, watch some Netflix, you know what I'm saying, just chill. Just chill out.
Yeah.
I'm starting to appreciate those days more and more. I'm somebody that likes to be on the go and be out and about, you know what I'm saying? Because I live in Rogers Park, so for me to go and come all the way out here to do my radio show, I got to catch a train and a bus, you know, every single Thursday. But also whenever I'm done with the show, you know, I can go see a movie, I can go do other things, you know what I'm saying? I can go and have some drinks or see some people, but there are times when I just have to tell myself, chill, relax, you know, step back. So. But what you are doing, and with the short film that you have, Monologues from the Streets, Red Line Prophecies, you know, you're doing amazing work. You're doing great work, man. So, you know,
it's just the beginning, man. It's me stretching out, man. I have you know, man. You know, hopefully I'll be back here to promote some some much stronger work though. So, you know.
I want to ask anybody in the city, any locals that you've been wanting to work with for a while, or that you got on your bucket list.
There's a young guy. Yeah, I don't really like saying names.
Long you say good things about him, you know.
You know, I'm gonna keep that now. You know, actually, I have some stuff in the works, man. I mean, you'll be seeing, but I'm all open to work with anybody that takes the art seriously.
Absolutely.
So, there is Jameis Hampton. He's a producer and director, and he's really dope, man. I did an interview with him for a Ghetto Stoics podcast. He's coming. He's a director that I respect and love in the city. Santa Cole is one director and writer that she's going to be, you know, she is a legend and all right.
Shout outs to Santa Cole. Shout out to Santa Cole. Have you seen Take 290?
I have not seen that yet, but I'll be coming up on it. And then there's Derek Dow, who's he's a professor, but he's I mean, there's no telling when he's coming. He studied at the University of Southern California grad school, so he's I'm excited to see what those people are doing.
I met him at XL Fest. Derek Dow met him at XL Fest this year, and it's good. You can tell, you know, good people. So you know, really just really happy to go ahead and meet new people, and you know what I'm saying, like we shook hands and talked for a minute.
And there's the big dog in the call him Big Company, Will Gates.
Will Gates,
that's big dog right there.
He'll be having his premiere of his film with Bo Simmons, Blindside. Yeah. That'll be on I think January 17th in Logan Square. So yeah, I'll be talking a little bit about that, later on once I'm done with you. But yeah, so shout outs to all those people, doing great stuff.
And Seth Savoy. He did Echo Boomers with Michael Shannon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's I seen this one of his student short films before he even came to Columbia. You can just see raw talent. And then there's Mike Ware as well.
Mike Ware.
He's him and Marquise are really close, I would assume.
Okay.
But Mike Ware, Yosef Day, I mean, it's man, it's I just wanna put my name out there, man, and actually get some work done. Those guys inspire me because I've seen them actually do great work, treat people right. Execute. No talking just about the work.
Yeah. So, here's something that I talk about with all directors, and I talk about with some actors and writers too. The presence of AI right now. Yeah. A lot of people are talking about. Last night I was somewhere. I was talking to a film producer who, they have their opinions about AI. I think generally in the film world, a lot of us do have the same opinions about it. It's, kind of taking work away from.
Let me, can I curse on this show?
Nah.
Okay.
PG.
Let me tell you something because I had a chance to go into software development.
Okay.
I was in an internship, but I wasn't professionally tapered for that program, but I love technology. I love tech innovation. There is no opinion about technology. Either you're going to learn how to use it or you're not. There's no, and also, and I play around with as writing assistant. First and foremost, any competent artist and writer sees the flaws in it. It's not human. Human experience, nuances. I create from a sense of now creative insanity. It can't duplicate anything that I lived through or that I'm about to do. But it is useful for mundane tasks and a little bit stuff. It's going to enhance what you can do as an artist. Like even I was talking to a famous Chicago comedian. He was talking about utilizing like it's for animation and for kids. You can have your own Family Guy. You have to use your voice, your ideas, but you can have your own Family Guy. I seen something racist. It was called Bigfoot Baddie or something. It was extremely racist, and they have to stop Martin Luther King family. Have to stop it. But there is, and then you have Sono for musicians, where there's still a woman writing. She wouldn't have gotten in any other way. Maybe some people don't have to look, things like that. Like you have Doja Cat and the other artists that are breaking conventions on what a female artist could be, the Lizzos. But this is the entertainment industry. People want content. You can have an AI artist and you could be performing live. You can be an art purist and utilize it. Right now, you know what I'm thinking about? That 18-year-old, 19-year-old who has a great base taste in film, who can write, great taste. He's studying at USC where they're implementing AI. I can't get left behind anymore. I've already been left behind a little bit because I've seen all this tech coming, but I never really took the action. I was when I read about Bitcoin 15 years ago, I was because I always keep up with the Forbes 30 under 30, the Inc. I used to tell the street guys, this is a way to choose your income. They got this cryptocurrency that's used on Silk Road to do illegal things. I mean, $1,000 in Bitcoin that time. I was reading about it instead of telling everybody else about it or going to clubs and buying clothes. That's 10 million might be a low estimate. There is no it's not a game. When I see people complain about AI, I kind of see weakness. I see people scared. And this next generation of creators are not scared. They're ready to play. Um, you know, what do you call it? Sam Altman he introduced the world to Prometheus Fire. It's going to catch on a life of his own. I'd rather be with, and even Darren Aronofsky, Darren Aronofsky, Black Swan. I watched the Sunday in a collab episode, and he's going to have an AI consultant on this stuff. You look at the new Avatar, Fire and Ash, James Cameron said that, we did not use AI to get this film, but nobody cares, man. Especially that type of film when you got, creatures flying around and aliens and robots. Like, the youth, they just want to be entertained. And if used right, you learn how to use it to die off like the dinosaurs. It's adapt or die out here. But there's a place for art peers. You want to play, your Bolex film, at Foster's and get, a clap on the back. That's cool. There is no, you can whine and complain all you want. Prometheus Fire has been introduced. Jay-Z said that he called the WW the World Wide West, meaning when we started to migrate to the Western Front, there were no rules. Cowboys and I don't want to call them Indians, Native Americans. There are no rules. They're going to try to contain it, but it's the internet takes on a life of its own, and I'm going to use every tool that I can. F is right for the project. So that's my take on it.
Well, thank you so much for giving your take on that, because we talk about it a lot, especially at my job, at Music Box. We just recently showed a film called F My Son. The F, you can go ahead and figure out what word that is. So with that uses AI quite a bit from what I've been told, and it didn't do all that great, and in terms of ticket sales and whatnot. I think that there was some scrutiny that came with it when they decided to go ahead. It showed at the Toronto International Film Festival this year, but yet again, when it comes to AI and filmmaking, for me, I will say this, is that when you talk about with James Cameron, with, Ash and Fire, with Avatar, stuff like that, yeah, I'm definitely going to see it, used more for stuff like that. Also, with The Brutalist, Adrian Brody's dialect was perfected with AI. So there's another thing there too. So yeah, I do see that there are useful things for, like, it can become, it's here, and we utilize it to the best that we can. For somebody who went to theater school,
yeah,
and worked with dialect coaches,
yeah,
does that take work away from them? Does that all this other stuff that
yeah,
that you kind of think about when it comes to work, and how much are we going to be using AI, and how is the economy going to be looking like in 10 years, whenever those Tupac AI videos. Yeah.
And I actually have an opinion on that, because when I used to drive Uber a decade ago, like, I used to listen to NPR. With the coming of AI, and it's even I talked about it in my short film. I heard about this. This was over 8 years ago. We are moving towards a global, kind of income thing, a stipend. Some states are testing it out. University of Chicago tested out a basic stipend, monthly stipend, because AI will take jobs. And technology should. Technology should not slow down, because humans are, 1960s, 50s, then Detroit, when they had the Ford Motor Company, all that, the robotics took mostly African American jobs. They have to move to Chicago, but that's tech, and this is the greatest generation me and you will ever live in. Self-driving cars. Yep. Everybody's going. I'm going to lease me a Optimus, Tesla robot. Green energy. AI will will automate jobs. Will take jobs, but on the upside of that, you got Mem Dami in New York, right? Yeah, Democratic Socialist. No, we
the fact we got a computer in our pocket.
Bro, we have it. Here's the thing. I'm an older millennial. I remember the days of writing in the library and researching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have the history of mankind on your phone now.
Yeah.
Dating too, So my mother, man, like, I mean, I told my mother, man, in her prime, if they had OnlyFans in her prime, find me an arrangement. Find me an arrangement.
All right, fella, PG now.
No, I'm just saying on this. Actually, OnlyFans is PG. It's just on your fan. You don't have to put
I got you.
explicit content. But no, I'm saying like now, like like it's. I mean, it can be a utopia, but the moral existential downfall is interesting. I want to get into that, but man, I'm going to try to not try. I hate that word, try. Charles Bukowski said, "Do not try." Bukowski fans, I consider myself, after coming out of my period of darkness, a kind of a Bukowski with a camera, but I'm gonna utilize everything that I can.
All right, man. Well, hey, I just want to say thank you so much for coming through again. This has been a wonderful, great interview. It really has, man. For the first interview of the year, thank you, dude. Definitely supporting you, every single thing you do. Keep me in touch, what you got going on. Do want to go ahead and leave it off with this, and I ask everybody this. What have you been inspired by lately? What you been watching? What's on the Netflix queue? What's on the Hulu queue? What's, Spotify, Apple Music, all that.
Okay, inspired by now. What are those guys that did Bring Her Back? The Philip brothers, Bring Her Back, and then the horror guys.
I'm blanking out right now.
No, okay, they're the Philip brothers. They did Bring Her Back, raw, edgy, gritty, unique. Inspired by now, music wise. There's a Aaron Golar in Chicago, goes by Nova too. I plan on working with him. I'm not listening to a lot of music like I used to, but I can't wait till Drake drops, man. I'm light skinned, so I gotta go with he's the god of all light skinned guys. Oh my god! Man. Now there's Kendrick and Cole, but
there's
Drake
some light skinned brothers that will fight you for saying that.
Man, he's the guy. I mean, passive aggressive, man. I see he dropped that. He knocked down all the baddies, man. And he came with a battle. I mean, Kendrick did what Kendrick was supposed to do, but Drake, he came with the bar, man. Drake is the apex of my generation. That pop star wise, that guy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Then Kendrick. I mean, come on, this is Kendrick, But film wise, all the what's those Marty Supreme? What's those brothers' name?
You talk about the
Safdie brothers. Oh man, Uncut Gems. That New York style is my style. I'm getting into Chicago Gothic. Safdie brothers. Man, it's no. I was on Movie. There's no shortage of content out here, and it's just finding your niche. What makes you different? Being like other people, I heard a pastor say, is one of my favorite, even though I'm not really into that, but he talked about your likeness to others makes you comfortable, but your value is in your difference, what makes you weird, so I'm out there finding my niche, and hopefully Kanye can get his act together, man, and come back to us.
That is never happening. That's never happening. Once you go down the pipeline that he went down, he started off with the whole slavery was a choice thing. He started off, and then he went into a whole bunch of other stuff. He just that, as Richard Pryor said, that money got to no. I think it's a lot of things that have happened to him and things that we don't know.
Well, mental health. That's what my film's about. But there's still no excuse for a certain kind of behavior.
Yeah.
But one thing I'll say about Kanye, because he inspired me to go to film school, like. Mm-hmm. The college dropout should have took a little bit more English and politics classes and stuff. Like, he was running for president. Like, our black men have so much to say, but take a political science class, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Take a speech class. And I think he's apex. Like, he reached, because he had a picture of Elon. He wants to be the Elon, modern Picasso, Steve Jobs. Mm-hmm. He wants to be that, but his arrogance is being... being confident about what you don't know. And there's the ignorance there when you said Talib Kweli gives you books you don't want to read, or there's no reason why someone of his stature shouldn't have the most impactful black people around him. Cornel West, the most impactful engineers, things of that nature. It's, I think they call it the Black Messiah syndrome, and maybe Nicki Minaj is getting into a little bit of that. When you think you too big, they ain't gonna tell you how big you are.
Yeah.
And also, hey, shout out to my Jewish brothers and sisters, man. Hey, we don't agree with nothing Kanye's saying, man. You know, back in the 1960s, some of y'all were allies, man. So,
Definitely,
so, So we can't get with anything. I mean, damn, because there was a point where he had no ceiling, but it's frustration. You might have seen some stuff, you know. Then I'm finna, Jeffrey Epstein stuff, the cabal. There's still the cabal out there.
You seen them pictures out there?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, what's his name? President Clinton went to his island. One of the girls. She said she didn't see him do anything, but he was there. But we know his reputation, Clinton. But that's all
they got pictures of Diana Ross on the private jet. That
don't mean they partake, bro. It's a cabal. It's bigger than that. These are donors. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need to run into a Jeffrey Epstein if you need money for your campaign, or an Oprah or things of that. But the things I heard about Epstein are disturbing because, I mean, they pretty much, okay, I'll frame it like this. Who is the top OnlyFans creator in the world right now?
I could not tell you.
Okay, it's, what is her name, man? Man, it's, okay, I forgot her name, but she looks like she's just an average teenage looking white girl. And that's a reflection of society because that tells you what, white men are into. These white teenagers, like secretly.
I got you.
In a sense. So it's some weird stuff. It's power. Mm-hmm. You see Puffy, these guys, it's Sodom and Gomorrah for these guys. When I went to LA for the first time, I kind of felt weird. Sodom and Gomorrah, it felt like no rules.
Wow.
So men and even women left unchecked are into some weird stuff.
Yeah.
They're left unchecked. Mm-hmm. So, hey man, we're gonna circle back to this discussion after one of my next projects. So.
All right, man. Well, hey, listen, JD Collins, thank you so much, man. And how can we go ahead and follow you on social media, on Instagram? What's the handle?
JD Collins Films on social media. I'm actually doing a digital reset, man. It is what it is, man. It's I'm a wild mind. I don't want to go that Kanye direction. So anything you see out there crazy, I was going through my my Kanye phase, man. But now I'm cleaning up my socials. JD Collins Films on Instagram, and Foreign Breakers Entertainment is my new company.
Okay.
Shout out to the WARC program, WORC and CHA for the business grant that I got from a small business to start Foreign Breakers Entertainment. So it's time to be of service to the audience, to artists like you and other filmmakers. They say leaders create opportunities for other people. That's for the leader, not this whole boss garbage where you tell people what to do, because we got that in the hood bad. I'm the boss. Like, we're all leaders and we're creating a lane for other people. That's what I'm here to do, man. So if you like my work, please holler at me. JD Collins Films.
All right. Well, JD, thank you so much, and Happy New Year to you and your family. And we'll have you on the show again soon, man. This was a really good conversation. So thank you so much.